let's start with one single question. Who here thinks that the economy is not going to be tokenized? So basically, who's excited about tokenization? Yes, everybody, right? That's what we hear at EthCC Paris. I mean, tokenization is kind of like becoming like the key word. But what is tokenization? We have to basically understand that the theoretical concept needs to become a practical concept. So every company should be allowed to be tokenized. So that's the question that we're asking in Brickken. How can we help every single company out there enter the token economy? So that's Brickken, Token Suite, creation, distribution, and management of digital assets. The problem that we saw was that the market itself is very fragmented as to what is necessary to be tokenized. So there's a lack of know-how, technical expertise, a lot of questions around the legal compliance, right? So how do you legally comply and issue security tokens? So that's kind of like word nobody likes to use. How do you transform your equity into tokens? How do you transform your debt into tokens? I mean, there's a lot of questions and doubts, and there's various suppliers out there trying to find the solution. But we have to understand that the digital asset life cycle is comprised of 3 different stages. So first of all, you have in the creation of the digital asset, then you have in the distribution and selling of the digital assets, and then you have the management. If you don't provide a solution for a company to be able to create and supply the whole token life cycle, then tokenization is next to impossible. So basically understanding the burdens that a company needs to go for the tokenization procedure, that's why we created this solution that really focuses on providing on a one-stop solution every single functionality and tool for the company to be able to enter the token economy. So from a simple creation phase with no code, let's say they enter into like a type form experience, they can create that digital asset, the supply, the distribution, who gets the first digital assets, whatnot, and obviously some functionalities. Is there secondary trading? Yes, no. So we give them all those functionalities. Then we go into the distribution and selling. So you do have a digital asset you just created, and you want to put it up in the market. Why don't we go through a Shopify experience? Instead of creating an e-commerce store, why don't you create your token store, where you can really supply it to third parties in your website, your landing, whatever, easy, and obviously compliant. Every single investor has a KYC. You see how the supply is being managed, who is asking for an allocation, and whatnot. And finally, we go for a management. So you created a digital asset, you have investors, and you now have to create something that is corporate relations. How are you going to manage your treasuries? How are you going to manage your investors? And how are you going to manage that new asset you just created? You need to supply them with tools and functionalities for the company to feel confident that they're really triggering into the token economy. So build them an investor relationship, build them a cap table management, and that's how you create a management solution. Our business model, if we're tackling the 3 aspects of a digital asset, then we have to understand that the 3 are monetizable. First, in the creation, 5,000 USD based on BKN. Then in the distribution and selling, 3% out of the successful raise. And then on the management side, you go in a SaaS, because VCs love SaaS, right? That recurring revenue, you cannot miss that. So we go for the 45 USD. And obviously we have other functionalities and tools that are all monetizable. So if we're able to capture the whole creation to the management of the digital asset, then we manage to secure that the client can never leave us because we are giving them that solution that they need. So as that, the whole life cycle should be monetizable. Since inception, we were incorporated 3 years ago, so a lot of know-how has been built already in the platform. And basically that's why when we launched our DApp in February, we're onboarding approximately between 5 to 10 clients a month. Mostly Web 2, actually, so that's from real estate to franchises to hotels, restaurants, startups, whatnot. We do have a couple of Web 3, and we now have a healthy community, but the most important thing is that we're starting to generate approximately 40 leads per month. So that's a lot. Obviously qualified, that allows us to give 5 to 10. So yes, we have a validated product, and it's monetizable at the time being. Utility, all the functionality, the whole ecosystem is done through the BKN token, so the payments, the transactions, the fees, whatnot. We do have a tokenomics, but I would like to center the last minute on the team. This is what is Brickken. We can talk about tech, we can talk about community, But the only thing is these guys waking up every single day and making sure that everybody is pumped while working for Brickken. So we have a lawyer, that's me, hello, I'm a lawyer, don't know what I'm doing here, but hey, I'm pitching. Then we have economics, media buyer, operations, selling. So this is the core team, and right now in Brickken we're above 25 employees, and the culture of Brickken is what everybody wears these clothes. So right now we're closing our convertible note for the receive round. We already have 2 tickets of 250K committed. We're waiting for the 600K still pending. So why don't we jump on board and have a chat about how tokenization can become a reality. Let's make it happen. So thank you very much, and we have an interview.
2 questions. First, you said you have 24 customers, clients. So what's their kind of revenue?
Yes. So right now we are starting to hit approximately 20K per month. So we want to upgrade that to at least 50K by the end of the year because our burning rate is 65. So with the investment, we're going to uptick. So we want to capture like the break even should happen early 2025 based on our forecasts.
20K per month. That's mainly coming from the creation, token creation?
The token creation, yes. So kind of like the SaaS, it's going to be building on the back, and the 3% fee, we're not uptaking it yet because they're starting to fundraise through our methodology. So we're going to start seeing how the funding and the SaaS happens more on late 2024.
The second question is, why do you think you need this your own token? It feels all the companies, clients create the tokens by themselves. It doesn't make sense for them to have another token in the middle that they have to interact with.
Yeah, no, they create their own digital asset, right? We don't push them to use the BKN except for paying the fees and the whole economy and everything. But it's important that we were able to gather a community of investments. So we nurtured the BKN token to also allow us to create a database of potential investors. Right now we have 42K on our database and 12,000 KYC potential investors. So we're nurturing the community, so when a company uses our protocol for tokenization, we allow them to get pushed for that. They create their own digital asset, their own token economy, their own community, but still we're kind of like the core always building and building that kind of like threshold.
Tokenizing for these companies.
Yeah, so the beauty of it is we are agnostic on the assets. So if you're like a, let's make it happen, like a bistro here, you can get tokenized, right? If it's kind of makes sense for you to kind of like fundraise via a tokenization method, you decide what it is. So bring it back to the Shopify example. You want to build a jeans store, or you want to build a coffee store, or you want to build a chair store. You just need Shopify to build you the e-commerce, right? So in that sense, we don't push you as to what can get tokenized. You decide what gets to tokenized because you have to focus on your unique selling point, and we just provide you that technology for you to focus on that, and the technology allows you to enter the tokenization. That's what allows us to have clients as diverse as real estate. We have a franchise. We have a fragrance, French perfume. Yes, weird, but got tokenized. So that's kind of like how we allowed everything to be tokenized, and we just give them the tools and functionalities for that to work.
So like in the perfume example, did they tokenize their equity? Did they just do a governance token? Equity?
Yeah.
Okay, got
So the main 3 examples as to how tokenization could work is through equity, through debt, or profit sharing. So it depends obviously on the country of issuance and what is allowed, but equity is throughout, and then it's just kind of like also what makes sense for the business model. For example, a lot of promoters will stay, they're doing it through debt.
And where are these assets trading?
Yes, so we focus on primary markets. Secondary markets, we're starting to see agreements right now with some secondary trading markets that are tokenized, one in the United States, one in UK, one in Singapore. So on the end, we focus on the primary market, and then based if they want to be traded in a regulated compliant secondary market, we allow that connection to occur.
Yeah, I was just wondering about the DAO. I saw on the slide that you're forming a DAO. Can you speak more to that? Are you decentralizing the entire platform to the community, or is it like for something else?
Could you repeat, sorry?
The DAO. I saw on the slides that you had a DAO. Is that they decentralize the entire platform, or do you have like 40,000, I guess, registered users, so maybe an investment DAO or something like that?
Yes, so right now the DAO has not been deployed. We were going to foresee it to do it on the bull run to get the excitement, but we also want to focus on them kind of like collateralizing the BKN. So if there's a project that needs the funding of the BKN, we can throw it to them. There's also going to be some relationship as to how the protocol So kind of like quitting the minting function or the supply, because we want to get them really engaged as to how the tokenization happened, because we foresee that their engagement can transform into an investment opportunity for our clients who are getting tokenized.
You're from Coin to the Grow Accelerator portfolio? Yes.
I'm curious about how you avoid your potential clients from this intermediary, as in why would they not go directly to your partners but go through you? And then the second question is, what's your modes to make sure that you don't have another person, another company aggregating all your partners and take your share?
Yes, of course. So, I mean, can you repeat your first question? Because I got lost in the second one. Apologies.
Sorry.
I didn't hear really well your first question.
This first one is, why would your client not go direct to your partners? And then the second question is then, what if someone else come up and say, I'm going to sign on your partners offering those services, then what is the competitive
Of
mode
course.
for you? Yeah.
So, I mean, in the end, when you want to build a competitor, you always have to acknowledge that the market is itself going to create those competitions. So you have to rely on know-how. The barrier of entry for tokenization is super high. You don't just need technology, which is doable. You need legal, you need financial. So when a client comes, they have everything already in. They have the technology lever, and today we deploy a marketplace of service providers, so a curated list of law firms, marketing agencies, and financial advisors who have an agreement with us. So when a client comes and they say like, hey, I want to use your technology layer, but I'm missing kind of like the legality in Singapore, so they can go through our curated list and say like, okay, this law firm knows how to tokenize in Singapore. So in the end, can the partner play us or the client play us? Yes. But the thing is, one click, you're already in the tokenization field. In fact, this pitch is 5 minutes, but the whole digitization process can take maximum 3 minutes. So it's kind of like speed, yes, compliance, yes, and then easiness, simplicity, and user experience. So I invite a competitor to try to challenge us now. How's that? Yes? Okay, cool. Yeah, I guess I'm done. Thank you.